today I'm going to talk about my little garden ducks. They're so cute. But I just need garden ducks because they help so much with bug control in the garden. And I like natural bug control. I don't want to use like sprays or anything like that. So the little ducks eat a lot of bugs, which is awesome. They're little meat eaters, so they're just always looking for bugs and digging around in there. So they're awesome for a garden. Of course, when you just put little tiny seedlings into the ground, they're just coming up, they could get damaged by the ducks. So you might need a little pen off to the side of your garden where you can lock them in there for a few days while your plants get a little bigger, and then you can let the ducks run around the garden. So that's how I'm gonna have mine set up. I have a little pool and like a little hut fenced in on the side. So when, sometimes it happens, you gotta lock them up, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put them in there. They'll still have their pool and their little hut, so they should be happy. And then when I feel like it, I'm gonna open the gate and let them run around the garden. So that's what I'm doing with my little duckies. They're so adorable. I'm having so much fun with them. My cute little babies. I don't know. I've got to take video of them because it's like, they're so cute. Every time I see them do something, I whip out my phone. I'm like, oh, let me try to capture that. Today, when I put them in the little pan to swim just for a few minutes, just to get a little exercise, it started like diving underwater and swimming around. It was so adorable. I love when ducks do that, like little dive bombers.
Animal Lover 104 says, my chickens have mites. How should I get rid of them?
Oh, yeah. Well, what you have to do is you have to get some diatomaceous earth, and you have to catch them and hold it on your lap and take a handful of that and put it in there and work it through the feathers and lift the wing up and get it under there good. Then clean the coop really good. And then you have to sprinkle that heavy in your coop, that diatomaceous earth. And do that once a week for a month, 4 times, once a week for a month, and then see how things look. Things should look better by then.
Marilyn says, hello from Australia.
Hi, Marilyn. Nice that you joined us.
Edel says, Becky, do you have goats? Have you ever had them?
Hi, Edel. Yes, I did have goats for for a period of time. I actually had them for a little over a year, but I don't have them anymore. They were very, very loud, so I have the pen close to my cabin, so I was like, this is not gonna work. Those things would hear my voice and just scream and scream and scream.
Edel also says, how do you prevent worms?
Oh, you have to worm with the diatomaceous earth. If you go to my website, beckysHomestead.com, and then you can click on, I forgot the name of the video though, but I worm my whole farm with diatomaceous earth, so there's videos on there you can look at about worming.
Just Google Becky's Homestead worming.
Yeah, it'll show you videos how you can do it. Works really good.
Ian K says, Dear Becky, can you do a video on how to train a dog to be a barn dog?
Oh, a barn dog. Well, just don't let it in the house. It's going to go sleep in the barn if it's smart. So it can get out of the rain and the winds. You don't really train it to be a barn dog. Like my dogs, you have to pick a good dog in the first place. That's the key. Like any old dog won't do. That's the thing. It has to have this certain personality to be a good farm dog. And then after that, you just encourage it when you see it doing right. And then it just develops into a really good farm dog like I have.
Hector says, send us a hello to my kids.
Hi, Hector and kids. Glad you could join us.
Timothy says, my chickens have stopped laying, but when they do, they don't have shells.
That's a nutrition problem. It's like, it takes a lot of nutrition to lay an egg, if you think about it, because the chicken needs enough nutrition just to live its life every day. And on top of that, it has to develop and create an egg every day to lay it. So that takes a lot of nutrition. You have to feed it better. Go to my website, beckysHomestead.com, and click on chickens, and then scroll through there and find one about feeding them. I have lots of them that'll help you. And you should be getting some good eggs.
Dancing Sky Panda says, when you get chicks, do you need to give them grit right away?
Well, that's the way the little system works. So what you can do for grit when they're really little is just get sand. That's what I do. I'll just get like sand from outside, and I'll just put it on the bottom of the, the bottom of the little box I have it in. That way it's, an easy bedding, and then they can eat some of it for grit, which they will. They'll pick little pieces up.
Asuk says, hey Becky, do chickens need to bathe?
Well, they dust bath. That's how they bathe. They get in the sand and they like go and put the sand under their feathers, and then they like flap their wings and just get that sand all through all their feathers. And then, that's what they keeps them. I don't know what that does. It keeps them dry and tidy under there, I guess, all that plumage. But mine will stand out in the rain. But it's so funny because they're not like this out in the rain, like, oh, it's a shower. They're like, pull their feathers in tight, and they'll like put their head up a little bit like that, so the rain just kind of runs off them. But they do like to stand out in the rain like that. They won't go in the barn, the little hen house. They could, but they choose not to, so that's the only water they get.
Clarence says, hi Becky from Bay City, Texas.
Hi, Clarence.
I just got some chickens. What's the best kind of feed?
Well, if they're little babies, I get non-medicated chick feed, chick starter. That's what it's called. But I make sure it's non-medicated. I don't medicate any of my animals unless they like need something. I don't just automatically do it for no reason. So just read the bag, read the label, and get that and feed them that. But then you can go to my website, and I have a lot of videos on what to feed chickens.
Eric says, thanks for all the great tips. Now I have chickens.
Good. I know. It seems like most people love the chickens the most. Like that's the most comments, emails, and remarks and everything I get. People are becoming chicken crazy.
Juan says, how is your garden doing?
Oh, my garden needs a little, I got to put some like composted horse manure in my Brussels sprouts. So they need a little, they're supposed to have a little bit higher of a pH for Brussels sprouts. So I love Brussels sprouts. So I have to get out there and do that. I've just been really busy lately. So I was going to do that this afternoon.
Tammy says, thanks for your videos. I enjoy seeing your slant on farm life.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, everybody does things a little bit differently, but you just learn through experience and through doing stuff, how things work, what works best, and what makes the animals happy and healthy, so you don't have a lot of problems with them and stuff. That's what I aim for, trouble-free. It's like I like to have a big bustling homestead like I have with a lot of animals and a lot going on, but I like it trouble-free. I don't want a lot of problems going on, so you gotta manage it well so it runs smoothly.
Nancy says, hi Becky from sunny Florida.
Hi Nancy. Glad you could join us. If you have any questions, you can ask me about homestead questions, animal questions, like cooking, soap making, anything for the homestead, really. You can just ask
Let's
questions.
Homestead Instead says, medicated chick starter or non-medicated, what do you recommend?
Non-medicated. It's like I don't medicate myself or any of my animals unless there's a problem and like they need a medicine, which my animals are very healthy. I never medicate any of them because they don't need it. I just deworm them and feed them good. They're all healthy.
Clyde says, hey Becky, which would you prefer, an alpaca or a llama?
Oh my gosh, I think I'd take the llama personally. They're cute. They're both cute though. But I think llamas are a little more like, I don't want to use the word lovey-dovey because neither one of those are like super lovey-dovey animals, but I think the llama's a little more lovey-dovey than the alpaca. They seem like if there's like, you're like, hello, is anybody there? You're trying to make a connection, and the thing's like, who are you? What? That's what I get from those. They're cute though.
Jacqueline says, hi Becky, I was wondering, how do you keep your laundry detergent from separating?
You stir it, shake it before you use it. Put it in the milk jugs, and before you go pour it in the washing machine, just give the jug a little shake and then pour it in, measure it, and dump it in there. Simple.
It's like homemade salad dressing. You gotta shake
give
it
it a little
before you use
shake.
it.
No big deal.
Christina says, I totally love your videos. You are so down to earth, and one day I really want to get some chickens.
Oh yeah, you'll like them. They're fun. Chickens are a blast. Plus the eggs are good. It's like, and you get them going good. This is the thing that's so like a challenge. It's like a little challenge, is to get those chickens so happy and so comfortable and feeding them just perfect. So you just have those eggs just rolling out those chickens, and then you're just like swamped with eggs. Like, we even eat a lot of eggs, you know, but we can't use them all. So then you have to like start, well, you could sell them or just give them away to your friends and family. That's the fun part about chickens. You gotta to get them going good. You know, they're like little machines. It's the chicken challenge. Right now I'm swamped in eggs. Mine are doing good.
Zorro says, hi from Wisconsin. I have followed all your tips about raising chickens and have the best eggs.
Good.
Thanks for all the advice. Love your videos.
Good, good. I'm glad it all works for you. It's fun. I'm glad to hear that. Keep up the good work. Spread the chicken news and spread the chicken love to other people that like to know about it.
Christina says, was it super hard to get yourself into a homestead on your own?
Well, not super hard. You know, everything's hard in life, isn't it? It's like, but living in the rat race is way harder, and it's just such a grind and such a drag. Building a homestead is, to me, like joyous compared to that. It's just, that is not my cup of tea, living the 9-to-5 grind and the rat race. To me, that is the worst ever. Homesteading, it is hard physical work, you know, like you're busy and there's a lot going on, a lot to take care of, a lot of responsibility, but you're free. You know, it just feels so good because you can just, you feel independent, you can do it yourself, and a lot of pluses.
Esther says, hello from North Carolina. You've inspired me to get chickens.
Oh, good, Esther. I'm glad to hear that. It's like, join the chicken club. It should be the Becky Sunshine Chicken Club. I'm so glad to hear it.
Timothy says, hi Becky from Virginia.
Hi,
Would
Timothy.
you ever raise chickens for meat?
I love chicken, actually, to eat. Chicken is food. I never have raised meat birds, but I'm not against that. One of these days I'm going to try it. You know, you have to know how to pluck them and clean them and all that. Of course, I know how to cook them, but so I'd like to try that one day.
Mary says, can you freeze eggs?
Interesting. I don't think, I mean, I have gotten an egg in the winter and it was frozen, but I think if you put it in the freezer, it might freeze too hard and crack the shell, and I don't think you'd like that. So I wouldn't recommend freezing them. You should pickle them. That's what people do to preserve eggs. They have those big jars of pickled eggs.
Natasha says, hi, I can't wait to be a homesteader.
Hi, Natasha. Good. I know, you won't regret it. You'll be happy.
Juan says, are you going to raise another hog?
I am going to raise another hog this fall, though. I like to raise them in the fall, where I get them as a baby, probably like October, September, and then raise it through the winter, and then butcher it sometime in the spring or early summer. That's what I like to do. If you get it in the spring, you're keeping it through the hot, hot months of summer, and it's just like, I don't know, it's like more stinky, more flies, and it's hotter for the big hogs, so I like to raise them in the fall, personally.
Tristan says, hi Becky, I'm Tristan from Alabama, and I just want to know if I can keep baby chickens outside because they're my first chickens, and I can't have them inside.
Well, how big are they? That's my first question. You know, if they're the little furball chickie babies, it's like, it's kind of hard to keep them outside because everything wants to eat them. I don't know what you'd keep them in out there. You know, you got to keep them a certain temperature, and you shouldn't have got them until you built a coop. You know, that's what you have to do. You got to be
Maybe they
ready
could keep them in the garage.
first. Yeah, I don't know. You got to figure something out, but that's not the perfect setup. I always recommend first you get the enclosure for the animal. Get it all set up. Then you go get the animal. You can't just come home with an animal and be like, hey, I got it. And then you're like, tie it to a tree or like put it somewhere and you're like, now what? You know, you're like trying to hustle to build an enclosure, which you don't do that good of a job because you're like in a rush now. What?
John says, how did you find your log home plans?
Well, what I did is I took a full year and I just did a lot of research and investigation because I just would look at what every company offered, what the material was, how long the company was in business, where it was located. It's like what kind of wood they offered, like all kinds of stuff, you know. And then, you know, I just kept looking around. And I'd like eliminate this one, that one, and, you know, narrow it down to like 2 or 3, and then go look at models that they have built somewhere. Go walk through and like just look at the stuff and see the quality of it and everything. That's what I tell everybody to do. A lot of people are like, what cabin kit did you get? And it's like, I don't tell people because nobody ever should get a cabin kit because I got one. It's like your needs and your finances are different. So you have to figure it out for yourself. You have to do the research because companies change quickly. So it's like the company I got mine from might have been good when I got it, and who knows what they're like today. I wouldn't just automatically go get another one from them. I would do the same thing all over again, all the research and investigating and everything. Because when it's time to buy, you want to make sure you're getting what you want that day.
Fishing Miami, Florida says, what do you think about tiny homes?
Well, how tiny? I like small. I think simple is better, but I don't want to live in an outhouse. Like, it's like I need a little bit of space.
I think they're talking about that show we saw with the tiny homes.
Yeah,
those are just RVs.
Those are like outhouse, living in a little outhouse.
A different kind of RV.
That's too small for me. Because I like to make stuff and do stuff, so I need a little bit of room. But I think, you know, under 1,000 feet could be good. That's awesome, I think, you know. Maybe like, I don't know, 700 feet to 1,000 feet. That is a pretty small home.
J&J says, we have problems with the chickens pooping in their nest boxes. I think they sleep in there. Any suggestions?
Well, if they're sleeping in their nest box, it's because they're not feeling secure to sleep on the perch. Because believe me, they would prefer to sleep on a perch. They like to sleep perched on a perch. So you either have to block, you know, the hen house better and put the perch the proper height, or build a little chicken ladder going up to the perch. Something's not right that they don't like it like that. It's not big enough for all of them. So the bully ones like peck on some couple of ones and then they jump down and they have nowhere to go. And then they go in the nest box. It's like you got to just figure it out and fix it. They shouldn't be sleeping in the nest box. It's kind of gross, and it's gross because they poop in there all night.
Scaring them off the net, off the roost.
Yeah, have to figure that out.
Stephanie says, I'm 50 years old, raising 2 grandsons on my own, and thanks to you, I've bought my first 2 acres here in Tennessee.
Oh, good.
Thank you for sharing your experiences.
Good. That'll be good for the kids. You can have them help you as you're going along. That's good for them, you know. It teaches them responsibility, and most kids love animals. So they'll be happy. And even gardening. Most kids love to get out there and garden and dig in the dirt. So you got 2 helpers. I think that's awesome.
Natasha says, "Hi Becky, are there uses for a mule or donkey on a homestead other than a pet?"
Well, I guess if you had tons of acreage, you could use it to plow like they used to. Or if you don't want to mow your lawn, you could like let it out there, it could eat the grass, help you mow the lawn down a bit. But for me, a pet is enough because it's fun. I love them. You got to have a little recreation in your life. So that's valuable and worth it.
Diana says, "I like chickens, piglets, ducks, donkeys, alpacas, dogs, and birds. I'm going to do something in the next 3 years. Wish me luck, Becky. Love your videos."
That's a good list. A nice long list. It sounds like me. It's like, I mean, I know my mule is my favorite, but believe me, it's a close, list right behind them. They're fun. Animals are fun. They're entertaining, and it's very healthy to have to get up and go take care of something, and do your best and take good care of it and make it happy. That's good for people.
Amanda says, "What project are you most excited about this year?"
I personally like to have several little projects going on, and then I like to bounce around and work on each project. That's just what I enjoy doing. So I never have like one main project that's like the project. I have to have several. So I'm working on some fencing right now. I have my garden going. I'm going to have to build another hog pen because, of course, in the fall I'm going to get another hog. And I'm kind of training Lincoln, my dog, a little bit. He needs a little bit of training. And I have a little bit more tile. I'm almost done tiling my whole cabin, like, thank God. So I have a little bit of that to work on. So several stuff, just stay busy.
Wendy says, "Hello from Canada. I love your videos."
Hi, Wendy. I'm glad you like them.
Bumblebee says, "Becky, do you have an underground shed place for big hurricanes?"
No, I don't have an underground shed place. I do have a crawl space under my cabin, but this cabin is very sturdy. It is rated for 135 mile per hour sustained winds. So it's actually a very sturdy building. It's bolted together really good too. I feel very safe in this cabin.
Timothy says, "Can chickens eat oat cereal, and would you ever get a goat?"
Chickens can eat oat cereal. Yeah. Chickens are kind of like hogs. They can eat anything. They're not that picky at all. Well, they're picky to eat it all. And about another goat, maybe in the future, I might get another goat. But right now, I don't see myself getting another goat because I have a lot going on, and I take care of everything I have. I already have quite a bit, so I'm good right now. But you never know.
The Holmes family says, "Do you have any suggestions for beginning riders of horses?"
Yeah, I have a really good suggestion for that. Make sure you train it really good first before you ride it. People get so sick of hearing it, and it's so kind of boring to hear, but do a lot of groundwork on the horse. If your horse doesn't lead around good and stop when you stop, stand there nice, and basically overall behave perfect when you're leading it around, it's not time to ride it yet. It's like you ride the horse you lead. So if you're leading around and it's a brat and it doesn't do anything you ask and it's a handful, well, when you get on it, it's going to be the same way. And let me tell you, it's all fun and giggles when you're riding until you fall off. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute, maybe it needs a little more training. So that's my first advice. Maybe take lessons at a place that has those old school horses that are trained well, so you can just learn how to ride a horse, because it isn't like people are like, oh, you just get up there and ride. It's like, no, you don't. There's more to it than that. So maybe take a few lessons, and so you know how to steer, the proper way to stop and communicate with the horse. That'll be good.
Timothy says, "Would you ever make homemade lotion?"
For lotions and stuff, you can just use oil, like coconut oil. Just rub that on you. That works good. But I think that's fine, you know, just maybe use some olive oil or coconut oil. It's like all natural.
Every lotion is just oil with something in it to
Like
make
an
it easier
emulsifier,
to use. But at the end of the day, it's just oil.
some kind of
So if you
oil.
just use coconut oil or
Yeah, it works really
olive
good.
oil, or the
And you
same
might be like,
thing.
oh, well, that's a little too heavy, but you just use a little bit. Just put a drop in your hand, rub them together. Just put a little bit. You don't need much. And if you drink a lot of water, you're like kind of like moist from the inside out, which is really the way you're supposed to do it.
Nancy says, with all the responsibilities of owning so many animals, are you ever able to take a vacation, and how?
Yeah, I do take vacations because I have friends and connections to where I have pet sitters. So that's all you have to do. You just have to get a pet sitter. And then I have my homestead laid out super convenient and super easy. So, you know, if somebody comes to pet sit for me, it's easy peasy for them. I have it set up for them. So that's what I do when I go away. I don't go away all the time. I don't go away too often. But if I feel like it, I do plan a trip.
George says, hello, greetings from Greece.
Hi, George from Greece. Glad you could join us.
Esther says, hello from Ohio.
Hi, Esther. Glad you joined us.
Bonnie says, hi from Idaho.
Hi, Bonnie. Nice that you could join us.
Janet says, hi, Becky. How often do you ride?
Well, it all depends. There's no like schedule, you know what I mean? Sometimes I have more time and I ride, or like right now, I'm actually working with my mule on leading a little better. I have a very dominant mule and he just needs a little more leading training. So he just will be easier to handle steer-wise when I'm riding him. So that's what I'm working on right now. And it's when you're doing groundwork, you can't really ride. You have to like focus on that. So that's what I'm doing with him right now. And he's doing really good, I must say.
Bonnie says, hi from Idaho.
Hi, Bonnie.
Dalton says, hello from Saskatchewan, Canada.
Oh, hi, Dalton. Glad you could join us.
Zachary says, hi from Virginia.
Hi, Zachary.
Natasha says, Becky, would you ever get a miniature horse or miniature donkey?
Oh, yeah, they're so cute. Oh, my gosh, they're so adorable. Maybe in the future. Not right now. Right now I have enough. But maybe in the future I would. They're so cute.
Una says, hello from Romania.
Hi, Buna. Glad you could join us.
Luke says, do you have an herb garden for tea or seasoning?
I love herbs. I use so many herbs when I'm cooking. I'm just like the herb queen. I'm just like, put it in there. I just think it makes your food so flavorful and so good. But no, I don't have, it's not really time to plant right now, so I don't have anything going just yet. But I definitely plan on having growing herbs and having like an herbs in my garden.
Timothy says, do you think geese would make a great homestead pet?
Oh yeah, I've had geese in the past. I like geese. They're very big birds and they definitely like kind of guard your homestead and make a lot of noise. They're a bit on the noisy side. So if you don't care about that, you know, they're beautiful and they're a little messy. You might have to spray stuff off with the hose because, you know, they poop a lot. But they're very nice pets. I like them. I've had them more than once in my life.
Falling Leaves says, greetings from South Dakota.
Hello. Glad you could join us.
Wavy says, what is that necklace?
What is it? A star? A little.
Like, where'd you get it?
Oh. Well, I like make stuff myself. I'll just like buy a chain I like, and then I'll like buy a little pendant, and you know,
Where'd you get the star?
put a different circle on it. You gotta look around. I think I got it on eBay. Just look around and like see stuff you like and put it together, and voila, jewelry. That's what I do. A little creative. It's not cookie cutter, like make your own.
Valerie says, hey Becky from Tallahassee, have you ever made or used acorn flour?
Oh, that's interesting. No, but I'll tell you who might like acorn flowers. Neil. Nobody loves acorns like my little piggy Neil. He's so cute. He loves acorns. There's a lot of acorns around here, though. That's interesting.
Random says, are homesteads only for old people who want to retire?
It's like homesteads are for anybody that wants to not live in the rat race and work 9 to 5. It's like if you want to be independent and free, live a good life, do what you want. If you like animals, if you like nature, I mean, there's no like age attached to that. It's a personality, not an age.
Holmes family says, how is Neil?
Neil is good. He's right out there. And I let him out. I think it was yesterday I let him out. Let him run around the homestead for a little while. He's so cute. Then he comes over to me. I start, oh yeah, he was being naughty, trying to push into my new chicken coop. So then I like start rubbing him and he just goes like, whoop, like rolls over. I give him a belly rub. He's a spoiled boy. He's so cute.
Sandra says, hi Becky from Central Florida.
Hi, Sandra.
Do you prefer raised beds for gardening?
Well, in Florida, you have to almost. So that's what I use. It's like sand doesn't really grow good vegetables. So you have to have a raised bed and then just like add some organic material and different stuff to the garden beds. And then stuff grows good.
Thor says, hi Becky, any advice on the types of chickens for a cold environment? I live in Maine. Or, yeah.
Barred rocks like it cold, so you might try those. That's my suggestion. Get a couple barred rocks and see. I think those would work good in Maine.
Luke says, what made you decide to set up camp in Florida?
Well, I was in New England. I was in Connecticut. I've lived in a lot of states, actually. And I do like the warmer weather here. I don't really like cold weather. And then, of course, you know, like population-wise, I don't like it like heavily populated. And price-wise, it's like I don't like a county that has super high taxes. And, you know, there's a lot of different elements you got to consider when you want to set up homestead. Because it's not just, you know, here today, gone tomorrow when you have a homestead. It's kind of like that's your home base. And then you can like travel and visit, but you still have your home base. That's how I look at it.
Lupu Seymour says, we loved your Lunchables review. We'd like to see more reviews.
Yeah, let's have some Lunchables. Not. I would be disappointed if somebody gave me those. I'd be like, really? That's all you got? It's like, people that can cook are awesome. It's like, all the people I know that can cook are just like awesome people, man. They got a skill and a talent. Plus, you know, you got to be kind of a giving, like loving person to cook because, you know, you want to like cook for other people. I love people that can cook. They're not lame.
Violet says, hey Becky, we just moved into our homestead. Can't wait to start.
Oh, I know. It is so exciting. It's a journey, though. Like, don't rush, and you kind of can't force things. Just kind of like let them go as long as they do, and learn as you go. Like, be observant, pay attention, and that helps you troubleshoot and figure things out when they go wrong. If you're just like rushing through, like it's the opposite of the rat race where, you know, you drive when it's like time, like let's just say it's about 8 o'clock in the morning and you have to go somewhere now. It's like everybody's just got their blinkers on and they're just, I'm just driving to work, like on a mission. It's like they miss everything. Like, don't build your homestead like that. Like, you know, kind of like pay attention, take your time, be observant. That's the whole beauty of it.
Savage says, who's your favorite chicken?
I don't know. Probably my big fat white rooster right now. I really like him. And I call him Dum Dum, but Scott calls him Dandy. But
his name is Dandy Dum Dum. That's his full name. That's what it says on his driver's license.
I just like him. First, he was kind of a brat. Well, first when I got him, a friend gave him to me. And like he was kind of an ugly because he was young and he was like skinny with super long legs. So I brought him here. I was like, I got a white rooster. And Scott would come over and he'd be like, that is an ugly rooster. He would just go on and on about it. And I'm like, no, he's not. He's just big. He's like in the gangly stage. Well, that was like a year ago. Now he matured and he just went like, poof. And he's this huge, poofy, big white rooster. And he was kind of bratty. And my mule stomped on him because he didn't like him being bratty to the guinea hen. So after that, he's like chilled out now. He's just like this big, that's why I call him Dum Dum, because he was naughty and then he got stomped. But now he's just like all chilled out. He just like waddles around the homestead. He got an attitude adjustment and he's awesome now. So he's kind of my favorite.
Terry says, we just spent a month in Orlando camping.
Oh.
The fire ants were horrible. Do you have them in your yard?
Yeah, there are ants in my yard, but here's what you notice. Like if you have a lot of traffic, like a lot of animals walking around and stuff, the ants won't be in that area. You know what I mean? But like if you have an orchard, you might have to use, I will use ant killer. I'm kind of anti-chemical, anti-spray. I don't like all that. One thing I will use killer, like bug killer on are ants. You know, if I get a big ant pile going on, I'm light on it. I'm not heavy on the ant killer, but I'll put a little out there and try to kill the ant pile. You never really kill them all though. They just kind of move over there into a new spot. So as long as they just keep moving and they're not on my homestead. There's bugs everywhere though. There's like, we live on the planet with bugs and critters and stuff. So you can't really escape it unless you're just a couch potato and sit in your house all the time.
Regina says, hi from Alabama.
Hi, Regina.
Does your family help out on the farm?
Well, right now, Scott is my nearest relative neighbor. So, you know, we help each other. That's what family does. Family, friends, you know, you help each other out. So if you're like working on a project and you need a second person, you can just be like, hey, can you come over and give me a hand? Or, you know, a friend of mine will call and say the same thing to me. And I'm like, sure, I'll be right over. So that's how it is. You kind of get a little network, little community going. So that's what makes it really fun and interesting too.
Sandy says, what's your best advice you could give someone who wants to start YouTube?
Oh, well, I guess just do something interesting and see if people like you, and people like you and they start watching you, just keep going. That's what you have to do.
And study and read and learn about, you know, about YouTube and making videos and business in general. And
yeah.
Education.
Nobody's like, I'm awesome. And they just like, ta-da! You know, you have to like learn as you go, and you have to have the attitude like, how can I help you? You know what I mean? And like try to help people and show them like how to do stuff, you know. You can't just be like, oh, I'm so awesome, look at me. It's like, nobody cares. That's the advice I could give.
Susie says, love you, Becky. You inspire me.
Oh, I'm so glad. To get a homestead, because then you'll like it so much. Well, not maybe get a homestead, but just kind of live the lifestyle. That's the good part. That's the goal. That's the awesome part.
Silver Garcia says, what is your favorite thing to grow?
I don't know. I like everything. I like my lemon tree. I like my fig trees. I like my blueberry bush. I don't know. Those things are more like they stay here. You know, vegetables in the vegetable garden, I do like those. And you like watch them for the season and then you like eat them all. But the other stuff that like kind of stays here, like, you know, the lemon tree and the fig trees, I don't know, you kind of get a little more attached to those. So I like those. I like blackberry bushes grow around here like kind of wild, so.
Valerie says, I'm making mead soon. Is that anything you've ever done?
I don't even know what that is.
It's like a kind of beer, I think.
Mead?
It's like homemade beer.
Oh. No, I've never made beer. I'm not a big fan of beer. I mean, I like wine and I like whiskey. I'm just not a big fan of beer. But I mean, I'd taste it if somebody made some homemade beer. I'd be like, sure, I'll try some.
Rocky Brook Farmstead says, we have 2 acres and are loving it.
I know. It's awesome. You get more in touch with nature. It's healthy. It's very healthy. Make sure you develop some outdoor space. You know what I mean? Like a patio, a porch, you know, somewhere we can just like spend more time outside as a family or, you know, have friends over. It's very healthy and I just think that's good for you. And also, like spend time outside at nighttime when it's just quiet and you can just chill out and look at the stars. I just think that's good for you. And it's fun. That's what I do.
Bumblebee says, have you ever thought about making a little vineyard?
Wait, I got to tell her something about Bumblebee. Because I've always like, well, this is when I was a little bit younger. I would like, you know, meet people or the people I know. I would always assign them like a bug, like what they reminded me of, a ladybug or a beetle or an ant or a mosquito. And I always thought I was a bumblebee, like a kind of a big fat buzzy bumblebee. And that's what I think of when I hear your name, Bumblebee. Because bumblebees are kind of loud and I don't know, they're funny.
Red Boots Homestead says, any advice on how to get blueberry bushes started?
Well, a lot of things I've noticed when I garden is if I overdo it, like I over care for them, they die. They're like, go away and leave me alone. So then when I back off and I just kind of like wait, because, you know, I'm always like, hurry, like, try to make them grow fast and like look at them all the time. And it's like gardening is like this really chilled out adventure. Gardening is slow going. So to get blueberries going, what I find for me that works, I just put them in the ground and then they like wood chips on top of them, but you gotta be careful because the ants will get in the wood chips. But they also like horse manure that's been dried out. I'll like put that around it. And I don't know, mine have lived. So I had 2 though, I must say. One of them, it still blooms and it's doing good. I gotta get another one. But what happened was the ants got in there in the roots and killed it. So you do have to be careful with ants and those blueberry bushes. They like it.
All Out Cooking says, I'm getting chickens because of you.
Good! The Sunshine Chicken Club. I'm glad to hear it.
My single mom life says, my kids love your voice and love to hear you talk.
Oh, they're like my animals. I swear all my animals know my voice. I could be coming down the road and I'll say something loud and like I'll hear my mule, my pony start screaming, the dogs will start barking and I'll be like far away. It makes me laugh.
We got a $2 super chat from Faith.
Hi, Faith. It's the same girl from last time, I think, right? Last week or the week before. I think so. Thank you, Faith.
They didn't put any question or anything, just the super
thanks
chat.
for the support. I do appreciate it a lot because, you know, it's a lot of work and takes a lot of time to make videos. But even though I love to do it.
Jay says, hi, Becky. How's the Florida
Jay.
weather? It's snowing here in New Jersey.
Oh, poor you. I think snow sucks. Everybody's like, oh, it's beautiful. It's snowing. It's like, yeah, it's beautiful if you're standing inside looking through the window, but I like to go outside. So the weather here today was in the 60s, I think. It was a little windy, I went on a 4-mile walk with my mule, training him. So it was very beautiful. It's like, I think I saw one car the whole time. It was like nobody was there around. It was awesome.
Harvey says, how do you get chickens introduced to new chickens?
That's very tricky. People don't realize that. They think they can just like bring them home and mix them together and they're going to be like, just like, oh, we all love each other. It's like, no, they don't. It's like, especially if some are big and some are little, the big ones will kill the little ones. They might not peck them to death where you're going to see like a bloody chicken, but what they do is they starve them out. They don't let them eat or drink, and then they get weak and die. Plus, they do pick on them. So I always say you got to have like 2 separate like, pens. And then once they're all the same size, they don't have to be the same age, but once they're all the same size physically, you can try to like put them together and put food on this side of the coop and food on this side of the coop. That way nobody gets starved out, food and water. Because, if they can't protect both sides. So the new ones will actually be able to eat something. And a lot of times that is kind of the trick to introducing them. And just keep an eye on them and see how it goes.
Cassandra says, how's your garden going?
How does your garden grow? Very slowly, like all gardens. Well, it's not really like garden season yet. So I just have my Brussels sprouts in there, and I think I have 1 cabbage. So they're still alive, and they're like getting bigger and bigger. Now I have my little ducks, so what I'm going to be doing is building a little duck hut in my garden so they can like go under there at nighttime next to the swimming pool.
Fishing Miami says, the weather in Miami is terrible, and it's been raining, and it's because of brush fires.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, smoke. I can't stand smelling smoke when you get those fires. That gives me a headache, kind of a headache. That's awful. I feel bad for you, but wildfires just happen though.
All Out Cooking says, what's your favorite thing about chickens?
I don't have like a favorite thing. I like everything. I like that they lay great fresh eggs, but I also like to watch them. Not all of them, but some of them are just so cute and have a personality. So that's what
They're fun to watch. Just walk around and just do their little chicken life. They're just so funny.
They are funny. Yeah, and
there's a lot of drama too.
Yeah, well, yeah. I always say there's a lot of bird drama going on around here. Because there is. Between the big rooster walking around, that guinea hen out there, and my crazy chicken Hey that is just like nuts. But I think she's broody now. She's been kind of wanting to be, and then she doesn't. Then she wants to be, and then she doesn't. And I looked out there today, and she's like in there on the nest. And you can tell when they're broody because they'll like pick some of their feathers out and they'll like put it in the nest. First they just lay an egg a day. And then like at the next day, and when it gets a pile of eggs in there, then they'll like kind of pull feathers out, downy feathers, and you'll start seeing feathers in the nest. And that means like they're getting ready to be broody. And when they're broody, they kind of like spread out, hunker down, and they have like this grouchy kind of look on their face, like do not disturb. It's like they hang the sign out, do not disturb. And so I'll get a picture and I'll put it on my Instagram so you can see it.
We got a $2 super chat from Kutelk.
If he says that right. Thank you, Kutelk. We appreciate that so much.
Hi, Becky. Verna says, hi, Becky. I have to get rid of my rooster. He's becoming aggressive. Do we really need a rooster?
No, you don't need a rooster. And I want to tell you something. Not all roosters are good roosters. The first thing you have to make sure it does is it does the rooster dance. And a lot of people have never heard of this before. But in order for the rooster to trigger the brain of the hen to squat down so she can be bred, he has to do the rooster dance. That's what triggers the hen to squat down. Otherwise, she doesn't have a clue what the heck he's doing or what the heck he wants. She's like, yeah, whatever. So, but when he does his little rooster dance, he'll kind of put one wing out and he like flaps it a little funny and he just kind of does this little rooster dance and goes around the hen. So that's number one. The rooster has to do that to be a good rooster. And then not all roosters are sweet and nice roosters though. So you don't need a rooster to get farm fresh eggs.
Savage says, I have my own homestead in New Jersey, and any advice for my horse, puppy, rabbit, hamster, mouse, cat, pig, cow, cat, horse, turkey, chicken, cow, pig, rabbit,
Stop it.
dog.
Take good care of them. They're so much fun. They're your buddies now. You own them. They all depend on you. So you got to take good care of them. It's like train them good too. I like well-trained animals.
The battery's going to die, so we got to wrap it up.
Okay.
If anybody wants to ask any last questions or use the super chat,
It's been almost an hour anyway. It's almost been an hour. So I try to do an hour. Unless I'm like really busy and I have something I got to get to, then I'm like, it's hard to do an hour. But I've been trying to like plan so I can do an hour every Wednesday to answer everybody's questions.
DIY Gabby says, hi Becky, love you so much. You've inspired me so much. I talk about you so much. I love your videos.
I don't know if that's good or creepy. I'm only joking. I'm so glad, and I just hope that, I can help anybody that wants to homestead, encourage you, answer questions, and just like help you in any way I can. Homesteading is very good for people. It's a great lifestyle.
Last question from Barbara. Hi Becky, how do you keep your pastures and pens so clean? What is your routine?
Well, I'm going to tell you the key. You have to have them big enough. If it's too small, that poop just builds up in there. So it is a plus living in Florida where it's the sand, you know what I mean? The sun just bakes everything and it just kind of disintegrates. And then if you have a couple chickens that can scratch around and just spread it out and then the sun bakes it, it's even better. But the key is having your pens big enough. That is very important. Okay, so this is Becky Sunshine saying bye-bye. I'll see you next week.
Thanks to our super chatters, Faith and Kutelik.
Thank you so much, Faith, and thank you so much, Kutelik. We appreciate it.